So everybody was worried about what to do, how to do it, and then deep down, my mind is like, why don't you do it this way? Why don't you just follow this rule? Why don't you just go ahead and just try this way? And I'm like, no, every other person is not doing it this way, so why should I do it? Okay, and then I do it the other way that every other person is doing it, and boom, I get stuck. Hi, welcome to today's edition. My name is Mimi, and welcome to today's episode. Today, I'll be talking about your intuition. So, what is your intuition? Your intuition is your gut feeling. I feel like most of us tend to ignore this very aspect of ourselves so much that we fall into a lot of problems that if we had actually paid attention to how we feel about a particular situation, we wouldn't have actually gone ahead to actually carry out such transaction or to do those things that actually ended up frustrating us. Okay, so this is one of the problems that we have. We don't trust ourselves enough to listen to our own decisions. We want to take or listen to what every other person is saying on the outside, and then it's terrible because we get stuck at the end of the day and you're feeling, oh my god, I shouldn't have, and then well, you already did and everything, and then you're back to regretting and then feeling frustrated and tired and scared. Okay, so one of the things I learned is you need to take your gut feeling seriously. We need to come to a point where we trust ourselves enough. Like, I cannot count how many times that all the mistakes I've actually committed were things that my gut feeling said no to. I can remember a particular scenario when I met someone on Telegram and I was trying to buy BTC. This was around October, and it was my first time purchase of buying Bitcoin. I didn't know how to do it. I was confused and everybody was hearing everybody talking about Bitcoin, and I said, okay, fine, go straight, let me just try ahead and then buy this Bitcoin. So I come to Telegram and I go to this group of people, and I announce, hey, I want to buy BTC. If anybody has, this is how much I want to buy. I want to buy 50,000 naira worth of BTC. And then people were like, their rate is this, their rate is this. I'm like, well, nah, this rate is not good. And then someone chats me up on Telegram, and the person's like, well, he's offering me less than I even wanted. I'm like, wow, are you serious? That's your rate? How do you do this transaction and everything? And he's like, I have to send the money first before he sends the coin. I was trying to buy 100,000 naira worth of BTC, so I'm like, I should send the coins, I should send the money first. And he said, yes, I should send the money first. And I'm like, no, I'm not comfortable. What if you don't send me the coins and everything? What do I do about that? He now said, fine, that what we'll do is I should send half of the money, and then when he releases the coin, that he's trusting that I'll pay off everything in full. I said, well, sounds like a fair deal to me anyway. So, but then deep down, my mind was like, why don't you just buy on a known platform or something? Do you have to go solo? Yes, I know the rate is great, but you can always make up for the profits if what they say is true. And I'm like, nah, I'd rather buy enough BTC cheaper than buy for a higher price, because people have told me that Luno exchange actually charges a lot more. So like, okay, fine, let me stick with him and everything. So I was still on my bank app. I had already put 58,400 and I was about to send it, and then my gut feeling says, don't do it. And I'm like, no, shut up, you don't know anything. And then I send this money to this guy, and I come back like, hey guys, see, I sent this money to you, release my coins or send my coins to me. And he said yes, that he already processed it, and then that it's taking, that it has to go through 4 verifications and everything. I have to hold on. I was holding on all through the day, not through the night. It was actually happened around 9 p.m. He didn't respond to me. So early in the morning, I'm like, guy, how far now? What's up? If you've scammed me, tell me that you've scammed me and everything. He said, no, there is no scam me. That there's a problem with the transaction, blah, 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 blah. That he needs to look at it again. I just let me drop my phone and then just because I worked for my dad, and like, let me attend to someone. And then by the time I picked up my phone, I realized that this guy had cleared my Telegram chat and had blocked me. I didn't know how I felt. I felt stupid, I felt crazy, I felt mad, I wanted to cry, I wanted to shout, I wanted to do so many things. But then I begin to understand that, and this is not the first time actually, and all these other transactions that I did, or people that I actually went out with that ended up making me feel so much regret, were people that my gut feeling said, this person is not good enough, or this thing is not good enough. Yes, it seems juicy, it seems exciting, but don't do it. Don't do it. I'm like, no, I have to do it. Everybody's doing it, and then I get caught in it. Okay, so I know that most of us have had experiences like this where our intuition is pressing us to not do something or to do something, and we're like, no, who are you? I can't trust you. You're just a tiny voice in my head. I'm just trying to tell you right now that sometimes you need to listen to, most times actually, you need to listen to your intuition, because it's always, well, let me not say always, but that's one of the ways that the universe speaks to us about a certain thing we want to do. Like we're seeking for wisdom on whether we should go ahead for a course, and then the course and your intuition or your gut feeling is saying, why don't you do this other one instead? And then you're like, nah, everybody's doing this, I have to do this. All right, and then at the end of the day you do it, and then there's really nothing to show for it. So most times you need to actually listen to yourself. You need to come to a point in your life where you trust yourself well enough to listen to your own decisions and to have your own standards and to have your own stand that is regarding anything at all. I know it's so much noise when every other person is doing something else and you're not doing it, and then you might be tempted to actually go out of your way to keep doing those things with every other person, while deep down your intuition or your gut feeling is reminding you that these things are not necessary, these things are not the right thing to do. Okay, but you need to listen to you need to listen to every other person, but we need to learn to come back to ourselves, to learn to trust ourselves, to learn to listen to ourselves, because most of the problems and most of the crises that we've been or we're falling into are things that are totally avoidable if we had learned how to pay attention to our own gut feeling. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'd like to know what you think about today's podcast, so please leave me a comment in any of my social media handles or send me an email. So have a good day, all night. Bye.